The sun hadn't yet broken through the gray clouds when Adanna Okoye stepped out of the keek nap up at a Lawson. Gone were her tailored suits and signature heels. Now she wore a plain gray uniform and rubber slippers. Her father, Chief Uche Okoye, had insisted, "To lead this company, you must know it from the ground up." She tightened the headscarf around her curls and glanced at the tall glass tower in the distance, Okoye Group headquarters, perched like royalty on Kofo Abayomi Street. Inside those walls, nobody knew she held a master's degree or that she once spoke at a UN Youth Summit. To them, she was just a new cleaner. As she pushed her mop bucket across the street, the familiar scent of roasted plantain mingled with car exhaust. Lagos was loud, alive, and watching. She walked past early risers setting up roadside stalls, a conductor yelling Oberland, and a pepper seller laughing over a phone call. But Adanna's heartbeat drowned out the noise. This wasn't just a test. It was war. Her heart pounded as she reached the lobby. Glass doors hissed open, swallowing her into a new world of polished tiles, espresso machines, and people too busy to greet cleaners. This was no longer her father's empire. It was a jungle in heels and ties, and she was the lowest of the low. She adjusted her mop handle and whispered to herself, "No one here knows me, and that's the point." Inside the sleek lobby of Okoye Group, Adanna felt the chill of the AC against her neck as she stood by the corner, clutching her mop like a shield. The receptionist didn't look up. Staff buzzed past in polished shoes and anchor blazers, heads buried in phones. No one noticed the cleaner, until a warm voice called out, "You must be the new girl." Adanna turned. A stout woman with deep laugh lines and a starched wrapper approached. Her ID read, "Miman Kechi, Facilities Supervisor." "I've been Kechi. Chief say make I show you the ropes." Adanna smiled, nodding. "Yes, ma. Thank you." Miman Kechi led her through the heart of the building. Wide glass corridors lined with awards, LED monitors showing stock prices, and a trophy case with a framed photo of her father shaking hands with the governor. "He built this from nothing," Miman Kechi said, "but office people no day see cleaners finish." She paused, then added with a knowing glance, "So shine your eyes." In the staff break room, Miman Kechi clapped loudly. "Everyone, meet Adanna, our new cleaner. She'll handle third and fourth floors." A few heads turned. Some nodded politely. Others barely looked. Then came a voice dripping with sarcasm. "Hope you sabai bleach well." "Oh." Adanna turned to see him. Tall, fine, with a smug grin and a too-tight shirt. His tag read, Kalapo Adeyemi, Project Manager. He leaned back, arms crossed. "Just don't mix it with air freshener." Last one did. Laughter echoed. Adanna said nothing. She simply nodded, picked up her cleaning kit, and walked out. But in the corner, one man watched her. Neat dreadlocks, simple glasses. His name tag read, Say Adneron, IT Operations. He didn't laugh. He just nodded, a quiet salute. And in that moment, Adanna knew not everyone was blind. The morning heat seeped through the building's tinted windows as Adanna dragged her mop bucket down the third-floor hallway. She kept her eyes low, her pace steady. The corridor buzzed with laughter and click-clacking heels, the scent of expensive perfume clashing with disinfectant. Then it happened. A plastic coffee cup flew across the hallway and smacked her ankle. "Oops," a voice rang out. "Guess my aim's off today." Kalapo Adeyemi, lounging in his glass cubicle, grinned like he'd scored a goal. His friends chuckled. Adanna met his gaze, calm, unreadable, then bent to pick up the cup. "Cleaner girl," he added, louder. "That mop is not a decoration, oh chop chop." She didn't respond, not with words, just silence, a silence heavy enough to make some look away. Later, in the staff break room, she scrubbed the counter while humming a tune her mother used to sing during hard days. The door burst open. Kalapo strolled in, holding a crumpled plastic bag. "Laundry," he said, dumping it on the counter. "White shirts. I want them cleaner than your future." Adanna's brow furrowed. "I wasn't assigned laundry, sir." Kalapo's smirk grew wider. "This is Lagos. Cleaners do what they're told." Before she could reply, a new voice cut through the air like a knife. "That's not her job," said Say, standing by the doorway. Kalapo's expression soured. You day defend cleaner now. She's not your maid, Say replied. Treat her with respect. The room fell quiet. Adanna stood frozen, torn between gratitude and restraint. Kalapo scoffed, grabbed a cup of zobo, and without warning, poured it over her shoes. Gasps erupted. Adanna stared down at her soaked feet. The floor shimmered red beneath her. Next time, Kalapo sneered, Stay in your lane. But Say took a step forward. And you just crushed yours. Back in the janitor's closet, Adanna peeled off her wet socks and sat on an upturned paint bucket. The scent of bleach and floor polish clung to her skin, but all she could feel was a weight in her chest. Zobo juice dripped from her shoes, pooling like shame on the concrete floor. She pulled out her mother's old notebook from her backpack, its pages worn, corners curled. The words, No work is beneath you, but no one should walk over you, scribbled inside the front cover. Her mother had been a school teacher, fierce and kind, the kind of woman who could quiet a room with a single look. Adanna exhaled, flipping to a fresh page. She wrote down everything, the cup, the laundry bag, the zobo, the laughter. She wasn't here to fight back with anger. She was here to observe, record, and understand, one page at a time. Later that afternoon, she stood quietly by the office window, wiping glass panes while the city bustled far below. Say walked past, slowed, then placed something on her cot, a clean white hand towel. No words, just a nod. She nodded back. The office energy had shifted since the incident. Whispers trailed behind her now, some curious, others mocking, a few quiet with guilt. Kalapo strutted louder than ever, like a rooster that had won a fight. But Adanna saw the cracks forming. At lunch, Maman Ketchy handed her a wrapped meat pie and murmured, The wicked run when no one chases. Just they look. Adanna smiled faintly. She wasn't raised to run. Her silence wasn't weakness. It was strategy. Every mop swipe, every insult absorbed, every small kindness. She was storing it all. When the time came, she wouldn't just tell the truth. She'd have proof. Rain lashed against the glass walls of Okoye Group as Adanna mopped the empty conference room on the 4th floor. Thunder rumbled in the distance, echoing her thoughts. She had almost finished when the door clicked shut behind her. She turned. Kalapo stood near the exit, arms folded, eyes cold. You've got guts, he said, stepping inside. Most cleaners would have quit after what happened. Adanna said nothing, keeping her mop steady. You're new, he continued, circling her slowly. You don't understand how things work here. I can make life easy for you or really hard. She straightened. I'm not interested. Kalapo's smirk slipped. Be careful how you talk to me. This place doesn't care about people like you. No one's going to believe a cleaner. Adanna locked eyes with him. They might not, but I will not be bullied. He leaned in close, breath sharp with chewing gum and pride. Then you've made your choice. He slipped out, leaving the door swinging behind him. Adanna stood there, mop still in hand, heart racing, but not from fear, from fury. Later that week, she noticed small shifts in the office. Kalapo didn't touch her again, but his arrogance swelled. He barked orders at interns, laughed loudly during meetings, and bragged about being next in line for promotion. But not everyone was buying it. Some staff gave her softer glances. Others avoided Kalapo altogether. And Say? He stayed watchful, silent, but present. That night, Adanna opened her notebook and drew a bold line under a name, Kalapo Adeyemi. Then, carefully, she wrote another. He thinks no one sees. But I do. By Monday, the whispers in Okoye Group had grown louder than the printers. Adanna moved quietly with her mop and cart, but her ears were sharp. At the water dispenser, 2 junior accountants chatted in hushed tones. You hear say KP talk, say he go be deputy director soon. And, with all the nonsense he does. Guy, him mouth passing brain. Adanna kept her head down and her cart rolling. Every comment was another thread in the web she was weaving. She jotted it down later, sitting cross-legged on the janitor's closet floor, lit only by the flicker of a dying bulb. Her notebook was full now, names, dates, incidents, evidence. The more she worked, the more things shifted. Kalapo still swaggered, but his jokes didn't land like before. Some laughed out of habit, others stayed quiet. Fear was being replaced by doubt, and doubt was dangerous for a man like him. Say remained a quiet ally. Sometimes he'd pass by and give a slight nod. One afternoon, she found a cold bottle of water tucked beside her cot with a sticky note. "Keep going." She didn't know if it was him, but she hoped. Miman catching notice too. "Your eyes day see things sharp. Just no let them know wetting you day plan." "I won't," Adanna replied. In the evening, thunder cracked again over Victoria Island. The office group chat buzzed. Mandatory staff meeting, 9 a.m. Wednesday. No reason, no explanation, just a kind of message that tightens chests. Kalapo strutted past Adanna, sunglasses on indoors, whistling. "Big announcement coming," he bragged to anyone who'd listen. "Some of us are finally getting what we deserve." Adanna didn't look up. She smiled, because he was right. Some of them were. The rain had stopped just before dawn, leaving Lagos damp and golden. By 8:45 a.m., the entire Okoye Group staff gathered in the expansive 10th-floor conference hall. The air was tight with tension and freshly brewed coffee. No one knew why the meeting had been called, but everyone had a theory. Adanna stood by the door, still in uniform, pretending to clean the glass panels. Her mop bucket sat quietly beside her. She watched the staff filed in, whispering, adjusting ties, sipping from branded mugs. Then came Kalapo, dressed in his crispiest agbada, grinning like a man who already knew the ending. He sauntered in, gave Adanna a wink, and muttered, "Still clinging to your mop? You'll clean this place for my promotion party." She said nothing. At 9:02 a.m., the double doors swung open. A hush spread like Harmattan fog. Chief Uche Okoye entered. Clad in a navy blue kaftan, he walked slowly to the front of the room, his expression unreadable. Everyone stood, then quickly sat when he raised a hand. "I call this meeting," he began, voice calm but firm, "because we are approaching a major shift in this company's future." Kalapo leaned back, hands folded. Others stiffened. "I've decided to step down soon," Chief Uche continued. "And I intend to name a successor who understands this company, not from spreadsheets, but from people." Whispers stirred. He paused, then looked toward the back. "Adanna, please step forward." She moved. Silence hit the room like a slap. The cleaner walked past them all, chin high, Zobo stains long gone, but not forgotten. Kalapo sat upright, smile fading. "This," Chief Uche said, "is Adanna Okoye, my daughter, and your next CEO." Gasps, open mouths, shifting chairs. Kalapo blinked as if the room had tilted sideways. "She what?" he croaked. Adanna faced them all. "I came here to see the truth," she said. "And I did." The conference room stayed frozen. Eyes widened. Mouths hung open. Adanna, still dressed in her gray cleaner's uniform, stood at the front beside her father, no longer invisible. Kalapo blinked rapidly. Wait. This is a joke, right?" Chief Uche didn't smile. "No joke. Adanna Okoye, Masters in Organizational Psychology, Ethics Certified, and for the past month, she's worked here undercover." Murmurs swept the room like a rising tide. Phones buzzed quietly. Some looked ashamed. Others stared at Adanna like they were seeing her for the first time. "I wanted the truth," Adanna said, voice steady. "Not from reports or meetings, from the people. I've cleaned alongside the invisible. I've heard what's whispered when no one's watching." Her gaze swept the room, pausing briefly on Kalapo. "Some of you showed kindness. Others, cruelty. But every action was noted." Chief Uche stepped forward. She kept records, documented behavior, and it's clear who upholds a company's values and who doesn't. He turned sharply. "Kalapo Adeyemi, you've humiliated staff, abused your position, and dishonored this office." Kalapo's face paled. "Sir, with all due respect." "You're fired. Effective immediately." Gasps again. Chairs scraped back. The office bully had fallen. Security stepped forward. Kalapo stumbled, eyes darting. It wasn't that deep." "It always is," Adanna said softly. As he was let out, silence returned. Adanna turned to the team. This company won't be built on fear or arrogance, but on integrity, respect, and work that matters. Some clapped, others looked down, but Say, standing at the back, smiled, because they all saw it now. The girl with the mop was a woman meant to lead.